Stefano covered a lot of stuff. Stefano actually they're using HelloTax for the VAT engine. So I'm gonna scan from my presentation quicker than usual because he covered a lot of the topics. But I'm gonna give you like just to summarize now what he mentioned and why, of course, you should expand to Europe. Because the one thing that I didn't know is that only 2% of US servers are selling in Europe, which is crazy. I didn't know that. I'm gonna use it for my future presentations because here is now the information that we got for Europe. I mean, there's like over 750 millions, like people in the European Union, and 450 millions of those are actually over 18, which means these guys are all potential clients for what you guys are doing. There is like more views on the European marketplace, as Steph mentioned, and less sellers. So more potential, less competition. So it's no brainer. And right now, when there's slowdown, when the economy is not great, you should be crazy not to expand in Europe, especially if you have option like Steph's or what we have on our side as well. Because either way, if you want to go to Steph, you can do everything at one place without bothering with anybody else. On our side, it's a little different because we only cover the VAT. The company was founded in 2016. I used to be a client of HelloTax. When I sold my business, I was actually asked to help them with the partnership. But the long story short is I know that it is hard to grow across Europe unless you have the right partners. And that's what we're doing at HelloTax. That's what Steph is doing. But he's doing it in a better way because you don't talk with anybody but them. So in regards to HelloTax, just to summarize again, one thing that I think we didn't discuss earlier is when you expand in Europe, you need to have a product. If you don't have a product, you don't need anybody. So this is where ZonGuru can help out. They can do the product research. They can check who are your competitors, what are your competitors doing. And by the way, you'll be surprised sometimes a lot of markets, a lot of niches don't have as much competition as in the USA. So you're missing a lot if you're not trying to expand in Europe. The other parts that you need to deal with, VAT, as we mentioned, product compliance, fiscal rep, customs and logistics. These are things that you need to take care of. And of course, you have the option to do it, with different partners. We have over 450 partners, or you can go to Steph and he can help out. And like I said, they're using the VAT for us. And the last but not the least is like the culture and language barrier. This is something which a lot of sellers think that is not important, but that's not true. If your translation is not done properly, people are not going to buy your stuff. So these are the 3 steps that you need to consider. Having the right product, checking if your product fits into the European marketplaces. If not, what you need to change, the compliance part, and of course the culture and language barrier. So as Steph discussed on the VAT, this is what HelloTax does. It was built as a niche service for e-commerce sellers, Amazon sellers, Shopify sellers. We have integration. So anybody who is selling in Europe, and this applies not only for brands, but for agencies, aggregator, service providers, all of those are using our solution. And we have a solution where you can actually connect one VAT to multiple seller accounts, which is something that very few companies are offering that. So in regards to the VAT liability, what do you need to know about Europe? How much VAT you had in the past, how much you have right now, and how much you need to pay. You need to pay returns in one or more markets based on where you're registered. If you're moving stock within the different markets, you will need to have complete visibility across your movements because you need to report that in some markets. And the last but not the least, if you're selling on more than one sales channels, you need to have the complete visibility of all your sales because you need to report that. We had a question earlier. What is the complexity in regards to the VAT registration process? So Spain is the hardest market to go into. They require notary translation, original documentation, all this stuff. So if you would need to go to Spain, it should be your last option. So Poland is an easy market, even though does that big, and probably Germany is the most demanded one. And for a few reasons. For example, if you're a US company, a lot of people don't know that, but in Germany, they don't require translation. So you don't need to translate your documents. You can just provide them in English. The other thing is, in Germany, there's a specific tax authority which deals with a US-only company application. So if you're a UK company, that's funny, but you're going to get the VAT slower than if you're based from the USA. So all the 95% of sellers who sell in the USA, they should know that, because it's easier for them to expand to Europe than compared to a UK company after Brexit. And the last thing, in Germany, they don't require physical representation, which means it's cheaper. And the last but not the least, they're the biggest market in Europe. As far as now, they're the third Amazon market after US and Japan, and they have a central location in Europe. So it's a perfect place to start your expansion to Europe. Somebody would ask, okay, but why do you need VAT? Can I sell without VAT? No, you cannot. That's it. You're not gonna be able to set up an Amazon account without VAT. That's it. So just to keep it simple, why you need VAT. If you hold stock in any market in Europe, you need to have VAT number. If you have one, like if you hold stock in one country, you need one VAT. After you hit 10,000K, you can actually register for the OSS, and you can fulfill orders to all the European Union countries. And this is actually good, because before you needed to actually follow the threshold in different markets and need to do different, several VATs. Right now, you just need one VAT, one OSS. This is if you're EU-based company in your home country. If you're non-EU-based company selling on Amazon, for example, you just need one VAT. As long as you don't hold stock in other markets, and you can use the one VAT, and Amazon are going to use their OSS registration to fulfill orders across the whole European Union. So just to put it as simple as possible, now it's much easier to expand in Europe. I'm talking to the 98% of the sellers in the USA, just so you guys know. Okay, let me go back. So just to summarize now. Okay, so what we recommend to anybody expanding to Europe? So like Steph mentioned earlier, if you go to Amazon is going to tell you, okay, guys, go and do the PAN-EU. But PAN-EU means doing multiple markets. You're not going to get the VAT at the same time. So it's not an ideal solution. So what I recommend sellers on our side, just start with one VAT in Germany and expand based on your expansion across Europe. Set up the VAT there. You can start selling from Germany, set up your stores in the other markets without storing goods there. Set up your localization, translation, and once you validate that you're selling well in other markets, then you can set up multiple VATs. But just to keep it simple, start with one VAT and grow. If you're a non-EU company, you don't need OSS, because Amazon is going to use their own OSS registration. If you're selling on Shopify and you would like to sell from one location to multiple countries across Europe, then you would need to have the OSS registration, because Shopify is not the so-called DIM support, and you would need to file the reports and pay the return yourself. So Amazon is probably the ultimate and the easiest solution to expand in Europe, because one VAT, Amazon is going to collect the VAT if you're a non-EU company, so it's really easy. Of course, if you're a big company, an agency, an aggregator, Steph, it's a very good solution, because you can eliminate the time to wait for the VAT, because you'll be waiting around 2 is the best case scenario, up to 3 months, sometimes even 4 or 5 in Spain to get the VAT. But even if this looks like scare-free, just keep in mind, 98% of your competitors are not selling in Europe. So if you do the first step and expand, you'll be already ahead of them. And just to summarize, in regards to HelloTax, we have a software. We connect to Amazon, Shopify, we pull your data, we file your reports, we have an account managers who are speaking multiple languages. So it's a SaaS solution on the front end, plus managed service on the back end. And on top of that, we have over 450 partners in the space. So if you need something, we have it here. There is no partner that we cannot connect with. And just to let you know, also we have a free VAT software, so you can use the software without paying. You only pay if you set up the VAT for us, so you can actually use that to monitor your sales and just have all the information about your transactions. And the last thing is, every month when we do the webinar, we're giving 6 free VAT registrations. So if you're not scared of Europe, come here. If you don't want to expand your business, come on for vacation. You can go skiing, you can go to the beach, you can go into a lot of stuff, and it's, of course, you can also sell across Amazon. And I think that's it, guys. I tried to be as quick as possible, because Steve covered a lot of topics, but right now. I think we scared a lot of people with all these taxes, but anyways,